Am I the asshole for planning a Disney trip without my stepdaughter and leaving her with her father? I, 41F, and my husband, 41M, have 4 children. I have 1 child from a previous relationship, he has 2, and we have 1 together. We have always treated the children as equally as possible, though with extended family, they don't always go on the same trips if we don't go. His parents take his children on vacations and my child doesn't want to go without me. This has never been an issue. But when we plan trips, we always take everyone. The problem is that my SD, 16F, doesn't really like anything that anyone else does. Or she will like it until someone else does. She really wanted to go on a winter trip to Colorado for skiing. None of the other children were that excited, but seeing as it's hard to find things she likes, we went. She was excited until the other kids started enjoying it too, then she wanted to leave. This is pretty much what happens when we went on trips to the zoo, museums, anything. And if other people are already happy about it, she immediately hates the idea. We thought maybe she just wanted time with each parent alone. So we did that with both her mom and dad. She still complained the whole time. Her counselor said maybe she wants activities with both parents to show they get along. They did that, but if they show any enjoyment at all, she hates whatever they're doing. We've done girl days with her mom and I and she hates it. We have found the less enthusiastic we are, the more she wants to do it. This applies to meals too. If someone else likes something, she finds ways to criticize it. It's like she can't let anyone else enjoy anything. She also likes things more if no one else wants to do them. This also happens when she goes with her aunt and cousins. Her sister is not like this at all. We've asked her if she has any insight, their mother has too. And she comes up with nothing other than, she's just a BH, and shrugs. We let her choose other day trips, told her she can bring her friend, but it's the same. If she sees someone like something she chose, she complains and says it was her idea like no one else can enjoy it. So this year, we had been talking about Disney for a while. My nephew has cancer and has always wanted to go with us because he has no siblings and not many friends because he's missed a lot of school. SD said it was stupid as soon as everyone else wanted to go. Her father said he would have a lot of work to catch up on when he got back. He does seasonal work and has to take the work while he can. The kids agreed that they wanted to go and he wanted us to, so I made the plans and we decided to go back another year with all of us. I made the reservations for myself, sister, nephew, and 3 of our children, deciding SD can stay back with dad since she didn't want to go anyway. My husband says Ida for not planning for her to come too, but I don't want her ruining the trip with complaints with my nephew there. Ida? Edit. To clarify, I asked SD multiple times if she wanted to go as I planned, so I would know at each stage if she had changed her mind. She was adamant every time she didn't want to go. Her dad says she always says she doesn't want to go but would regret missing out. This is based on last summer's vacation when she said she didn't want to go but loved it. We were at a campground and it rained the whole time. We were pretty miserable but she thought it was funny. Not the asshole, I'd only advise you, your partner and the child's mother to focus more on her mental health treatment because this thing sounds very pathological to say the least. Not the asshole. Reddit is gonna hate this, but hormonal contrarian teens should not be able to hold their families hostage like she has. Y'all have treated her like a small child with a terminal diagnosis, and that's not doing her any favors. She needs boundaries and a mental health professional. It wouldn't hurt for all of her parents, bio and step, to be in therapy, too, family and solo. As for this not being fair, it isn't fair to make your other kids put up with her bullshit. It isn't fair to make her go on a vacation she'll abhor. Your husband is wrong. Info. Have any of the grown-ups ever sat her down and asked her why she does this? She's 16, she's old enough to have a calm conversation about why she complains as soon as someone else likes something she enjoys. Maybe the fact you speak to her about it may help her realize someone has noticed, if she's trying to get stationed by doing it. Not the asshole, it sounds like she is struggling to find her individuality. I wasn't this extreme but I definitely thought if I liked things people weren't keen on or didn't know about that I was unique and it was special. I didn't want to like the same things as everyone else either. I'm glad to say I grew out of it when I wanted to enjoy things with others and share experiences. You're doing a great job trying to help her figure it out, splitting time and activities with all parents. I think not bringing her is the perfect solution for everyone. You deserve to enjoy any vacation but especially such a pricey one I wouldn't risk an upset. My advice for when she starts grumping at places is to straight up ignore her. Keep having your fun and let her learn to join. Not the asshole, but don't get bogged down in her behavioral problem. Just say, SD said she didn't want to go. Staying home with you is what she wanted. The plans are made. Honestly, your husband is mostly ticked off that he is in charge of his daughter while you are gone. He was hoping to have the time himself. Well, tough. Not the asshole. She's 16. Plenty old enough to lay in the bed she makes. She said she didn't want to go, so plans were made with her not going. She'll learn quick, hard, and fast in the real world that nobody wants to waste time or energy on a selfish, entitled killjoy. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my wife spend my money on her best friend? My wife has known her best friend since middle school. Her friend is a lawyer and her family is quite well off. She makes a lot and is pretty generous with it. My wife has had a few things paid for by her. Specifically, she covered my wife's portion of her bachelorette trip. The other friends didn't make much and so she covered it. She also paid for a portion of my wife's rent twice and she normally pays the bills if she and my wife go out for food. This friend is now marrying a doctor and I don't think they have any trouble with paying for anything they want. My wife is a stay-at-home mom and I'm a mechanic. I bought home a bonus of $3,000 and when I told my wife she immediately started talking about getting her friend a really expensive necklace from this brand she knows her friend really wants. She showed me and the cheapest necklace is $2,000 on the website. She insisted I should spend the bonus on a wedding gift for her friend. I shut her down and told her it's my bonus and she really cannot expect me to buy her friend something this expensive. I don't think wedding gifts even exceed $100. She began fighting with me saying I buy lunch out of the house and I have stupid hobbies that cost a lot of money, so why can't she spend some money like buying her friend a necklace? I do spend a bit on my hobbies and I have 2 cars, but I also work my ass off and her friend can definitely pay for it herself. She is marrying a doctor and they already have a house whereas we are still renting. I told her she is being insane and she insists we sit down and tally up everything I spent on myself in the last year and if it's higher than $2,000 I should pay for the necklace. I think it's ridiculous to compare the two and I'm refusing to let her buy her friend a ridiculously expensive gift. She insists her friend has spent a lot on her and I also saved money because her friend pays for meals and activities whenever they hang out so she doesn't have to spend our money. I get that the lopsided relationship isn't the best, but then she should refuse to do anything that costs too much and let her friend decide if she wants to just hang out without doing anything that costs money. She refuses to talk to me now and I'm wondering if I'm the asshole here? Info. My wife is a stay-at-home mom and I'm a mechanic. So what form does your wife's income take? Does she get an allowance? Is a $2,000 wedding gift ridiculous? Yes. Is referring to household income as my money because your wife is a stay-at-home mom asshatted, toxic and disrespectful? Also yes. Your attitude is far worse than a ridiculously priced gift. You are the asshole. You are the asshole, but not for this one incident. 50% of your income is your wife's. She takes care of your home and whatever else so you can work those hours and still be comfortable at home. You agreed that you have costly hobbies, but you work hard. Does your wife not work hard? Does she have expensive hobbies? This woman is a good friend of your wife's who has spent way more than $2,000 on her and you. She has paid your wife's portion of the rent, so basically she paid your rent? Don't take advantage of her and let your wife do something special for once for her friend. Spending $2,000 on a wedding gift is a bit much, even for a great friend, but you are excessively controlling. Your wife has no capacity to make additional income while, I assume, raising your kids. Instead of acting as a partner, you're controlling her spending. If she had an income, she wouldn't need to run personal purchases by you. The only reason you can make an income to spend is because your wife, presumably, raises your kids. You're either in a partnership or you're controlling, but if you're dictating all her personal spending, it's the latter and unfair to her. She is entitled to economic freedom and you're responsible to provide that if she's a stay-at-home parent. It sounds like your current financial setup isn't overly fair. Different things work for different couples, but it doesn't sound like this is really working anymore. You guys should both end up with the same amount to spend on yourselves. You spend yours on your hobbies and she can spend hers on whatever she likes. That way she can actually pay for herself to go out to dinner rather than having her friend pay for her every time. Maybe then she wouldn't feel so guilty that she thinks a 2,000 pounds Nekachi present is a good idea. You are the asshole if you don't sort out your finances with your wife so the arrangement works for both of you. Your wife stays home and takes care of the family. Your income belongs to both of you. Do I think that a $2,000 gift is a good idea? No, but I don't think you characterizing the family income as my money is a good idea either. Don't be a dick. Spending the family money should be a family decision. Would I be the asshole if I charged for a cover-up of a nasty tattoo I did? I'm 1 year into tattooing. This is the first cover-up I do of a tattoo that I did. I tattooed a saying in Arabic on a girl's back a few weeks ago and we both thought it translated to appreciate life, because the translation was right under the words in Arabic in the photo she sent me. She texted me a few days ago saying that she wants me to delete the pic of her tattoo off of my page because it actually translates to something awful. I was so shocked. I ran the pic through Translate Lens myself like 5 times and the tattoo did, in fact, mean something gross. I usually do check what clients' tattoos mean beforehand when they are in a foreign language, but I did not check this one because the translation came with the reference pic. I quickly deleted the post and told her that I'm happy to work on a cover-up together if she's down for it. She was, and I finished the design today. She likes it and we are gonna do it. The thing is, I feel very guilty about this whole thing because it never happened to me before. I feel really sorry that I put that on someone's body and I am very happy to cover it, but I feel significant other ashamed of charging her for this cover-up because I somehow feel like it's my fault. I, as the artist, should have checked the translation and I'm afraid that there is a possibility that she thought the cover-up was free. So when I tell her a price she will blame me for the tattoo and end up on bad terms. It was her first tattoo and we have a common friend so she may think that I offered my cover-up services as an apology, but to be honest I don't even know if I did anything wrong. Maybe I'm overthinking. I'm so conflicted and IDK what to do. On one side I do feel for her and I want to help her, but on the other side this is a complex tattoo that I don't really afford to give out for free. If she was my friend I would totally do it for free, but she's a friend's girlfriend's friend. So I don't even know what our status is to be able to give out my resources like that. Would I be the asshole if I charge her for this cover-up? If I do, I will cut it down a lot though. Edit. To be more specific, I did not make the writing design myself. I just copied the picture she sent me. The picture she sent me had the design and appreciate life under it. As translation I'm calling the tattoo nasty because it is. It actually translates to, I'm rotten. After further research I found that the pic she sent me circulated on Tumblr a few years ago as a meme, but we obviously were not aware of that. It's just words on white background. Edit 2. I've never had so many people comment on my post. I've tried to read everything and I finally made my decision. Thank you all for the help, truly. I will update on Sunday, when the cover-up is scheduled, hopefully being able to answer some questions after meeting with my client again. See you on Sunday. You're not the asshole for charging her for the cover-up. You made a mistake, but you're still providing a service and putting in your time and skill to create a new tattoo. It's fair to communicate the price, especially since you're cutting it down to help her out. Just be honest with her about the situation and that you understand her feelings. If she's a reasonable person, she should appreciate your honesty and effort. Also, both of you should have search about the meaning of it, not just you. In my opinion, YWBTA. I don't blame you at all for the mistranslation. I think it's her responsibility to understand what the text meant before approaching you to get it tattooed. Should you have done some due diligence? Perhaps, but you're certainly not an AH. However, with that being said, it seems there wasn't any discussion around additional work to cover the tattoo up, until you yourself suggested it. She just wanted the picture removed. You could have said, I'm so sorry, I'm happy to cover it up at a discounted cost as I feel bad, but it sounds like you didn't. You simply offered to cover it up. If it was me, I would have understood this as a gesture of goodwill, to cover up what the artist herself describes as nasty. Hence me leaning towards YWBTA. Not the asshole. You are not responsible for someone else's decisions or lack of investigation. However, as you usually check translations, you do know it's better to check for yourself than end up in this situation. You'll feel better if you help her, even if ultimately the blame for this mistake lies with the client. Charge her, give her a heavy discount, and let both of you learn from this mistake. Do not do a tattoo again without checking the translation for yourself and getting the client to confirm on record that's what they want to save you the hassle. Hopefully, the client will be more careful going forward herself. Hope the cover-up goes well. Meet halfway maybe? As a collector of skin art, it's my responsibility to make sure I'm giving you the right thing. So that's on her. You as the professional that has been doing this for a year is probably looking to build a return customer base. You should make sure we aren't doing ourselves wrong because you are the professional. I think you could say something like, usually that design would cost XYZ amount, partly because it's going to take a while. But since it was one of my first professional tats, I'll give you the best discount I can, because even though it wasn't my error, I don't like the idea you've got a tat you're not happy with. You have to avoid even a hint of any blame for you, and you deserve to be paid for your expertise. Saying something like that shows goodwill, and that you want clients to be happy, so you'll take a loss or a cut in profit, whilst avoiding blame. The only problem you currently have is, you told her you were happy to work on the cover-up, with zero mention of a fee. If my tattooist reached out to me after I said I was unhappy and they said let's do a cover-up, if assume free. I think you need to send a follow-up message before her going into the studio, is to say, so this job will cost X, but since we're covering up a mutual error, I'll charge Y. If she gets cranky over that, do not tattoo her. She chose the origin of peace, she approved the stencil before tattooing, none of that is your fault. Am I the asshole for yelling at my mom after my brother ran away? My family is pretty religious and conservative. I have my own opinions but I always keep my mouth shut. I just avoid my family for the most part. My brother, 20, still lives at home and well, ever since he was a kid he's always been more out there. He's very open-minded and artistic as well, so he's always pissing off our parents and sisters. He was a really good volleyball player in high school but quit his senior year just to spite our parents, so I'm sure you can tell what kind of guy he is. But he's the only boy, so our parents keep letting it go. Anyways, he recently acted in some silly amateur film for one of his friends. In it, he kisses a boy. I genuinely don't care. Anyways, the film wasn't a secret and posted publicly, so someone we know came across it and it was sent to our parents, who kicked him out. My younger sister and her husband offered to take him in, but my brother left not even a week later because our brother-in-law was being a dick to him about the film. Now no one knows where he is and everyone's pissed and angry. I only know he's alive because he's texted me a few times. Mom calls the whole family over almost every day to play the blame game, and yesterday it was my turn and she was basically saying that as the oldest I didn't do my job and led him astray because I failed as a sister or some crap. I got so angry I told her to shut the hell up and that this is her fault more than it is mine. Doesn't sound like a huge deal, but it's super disrespectful in our family, so everyone was upset with me for yelling at Mom and breaking her heart even more after what my brother did. I told them to stop acting like victims and that they'd better pray he decides to see any of us again, and left. I feel better, but the entire family is angry at me. Especially now that my brother isn't around to take their anger. I wish I could run away too, but unfortunately I have responsibilities tying me here, so I'm wondering if I'm the asshole and if I should apologize. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Some truths need to be spoken. In a perfect world you may have been able to convey the message more calmly, but that is rare in the world. Truthfully, your parents sound immature and unhealthy. You may want to consider going low contact or no contact with them. If you continue to entertain their behavior, they're never going to change. Not the asshole. That hyper-conservative self-righteous religious shit is, quite frankly, fucking exhausting. It was never appropriate, and it becomes even less so as time goes on. Your parents chose their mythological deity and his poorly interpreted book over their own son. Far as I'm concerned, that's unforgivable. And of course, playing the victim when they cross the line and get called out for it is 100% on brand. You did the right thing by refusing to enable her deflection, and as far as the rest of the family goes, now is the time you say, I don't want to talk about this again. And the second they try to bring it up, you walk out. Not the asshole. Sounded like you were pretty accurate in your assessment. They drove him away, and they're driving everyone else around them away, including you. Good on your brother for leaving a toxic environment. Family is supposed to be loving and caring. Not the asshole. I'll never understand parents like this. They kicked him out. He left. What they expected. Not the asshole. Stop answering the phone. And if your brother reaches out, offer to help him as much as you can, but maybe advise him not to go home. Sounds like you both need some distance from them. Not the asshole. Sounds like your brother caught a perfect opportunity and got away from loser people who wouldn't even be worthy of scraping up the feces off the Embarcadero. You should probably be planning your exit from them as well.